Pan is coming to Broadway, Chicago, March 26th through April 7th. We have Kurt Perry here, who plays Mr. Smee in the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I love that the show's going to be here for 2 weeks, and especially during the spring break time where a lot of families can go and enjoy it.
Absolutely. One of the I think that a lot of people perceive Peter Pan as like a kid's show, and I really think it's a family show because like the whole story of Peter Pan is about family and spending time with your family. So I think it's a good opportunity with spring break happening, and this everything really came together for Chicago.
That is wonderful. Tell us a little bit about this story and about this theater experience that we're going to see.
Absolutely. This Peter Pan, I think I'm particularly proud of. I like to say it's Peter Pan for a new generation. What's wonderful about Peter Pan is that the story has been passed down from generation to generation. My grandparents had their incarnation of it, my parents had their incarnation of it, and of course now I have mine. And I think that one of the great things about this show is because sort of it's a generational and an intergenerational experience. It's a great family bonding opportunity for everybody to come join us in the theater in Chicago.
There is a lot of magic that goes on, a lot of people flying in the air because that's what you want to see Peter Pan do. Talk a little bit about maybe some of those magical moments, either that you get to do, or that's just some. No, we don't want to give away any spoilers, but some of the fun
No,
things that people can
okay.
expect.
I was like, oh no, they found me. No, I will. What I'll tell you is, I'll tell you my favorite magic moments in the show. I think the flight to Neverland is absolutely stunning. It is incredibly beautiful. Our designers have done an incredible job on it. And when you come see the show, which I'm sure everybody watching this will, you'll see the magical transformation that we do there is some of the best theater magic that I've ever seen.
That is amazing. You play Mr. Smee, Captain Hook's right-hand man. Talk a little bit about preparing for that role and kind of the little twist that you bring to it.
So interestingly enough, when I auditioned for the show, I did not know that much about Peter Pan. I had never seen any incarnation of the musical. I had only ever seen the Disney movie. And I said, okay, well, how would I sort of play this? And so in the back of my mind, I always sort of considered Captain Hook a little bit like a Miranda Priestley type, like incredibly demanding and kind of unreasonable. So I always sort of crafted my Smee around this idea of like, I am like Emily Blunt and Anne Hathaway's character being like, okay, we're going to try to solve the problem before it happens. And so it makes me very neurotic and sort of, I want to fix everything. So I think that that's sort of what led, like my comedy is sort of led with this sort of neuroses of, I have to solve the problem before it becomes a problem. And I think that's a sort of a fun twist on what we've seen with Smee before.
I think they need to change the poster to say Peter Pan meets the Devil Wears Prada. That's going to get a whole new audience. I think this. I'm here for all of that.
Listen, two very different shows, very different musicals coming together in me.
Yeah, sold, sold. Especially, there's some people who are fans of Disney villains, and some people that are rooting for Peter Pan, and some people that are fans of both. What's it like that moment when you first come on stage, and especially looking into some of the kids' eyes, seeing like, uh-oh, trouble's on the way.
I think one of the things that's great about Peter Pan is that we have one of like the most iconic villains in not only like popular culture but literature. Like Peter Pan was a book before it was a play, before it was a musical, before it was a movie. So I think that the thing about like we sort of have these archetypal roles to fill with humanity, and it's really fun watching the kids sort of get a little bit like, ooh, but then also by the end of the show, I think a lot of them are sort of like, oh, they're fun too. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. They got their little edge, but they're fun as well too. Let's talk about.
Exactly. And we like to think that we provide comedy for the parents as well.
Oh, exactly too, because a lot of the parents, you go there, and as you want to see it once, you want to see it twice, you want to see it again because it's your favorite show or your favorite story. So as the parents are entertained, the kids are going to be coming back because they're going to be entertained as well too.
Exactly.
Oh, let's talk a little bit about the other cast who plays Peter Pan and Wendy and everybody else.
Listen, I cannot speak highly enough about my co-stars. Nolan Almeida as Peter is a revelation. He's really wonderful. Hama Kamara as Wendy is spectacular. Ray Zaragoza as Tiger Lily, our newly revised Tiger Lily, absolutely incredible. Shafali Deshpande, who is Mrs. Darling, is it's such a beautiful performance. And of course, I can't not talk about my partner in crime, Cody Garcia, who I will, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I will take any opportunity to tell people how talented I think Cody Garcia is, what an extraordinary comedian I think they are.
Let's talk a little bit about preparing before you go on stage. Captain Hook and Mr. Smee have this, dynamic. How do you prepare, maybe those moments before you got to share a scene together?
One thing I really like to do whenever I have like someone that I spend a lot of time interacting on stage with is I like to like make a connection before we go on stage. So every night I make sure to stop by either Cody's dressing room, or I stop by while we're preparing to go on stage, and I always check in. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I hope your day was good. I just like connect with like two people before we go out there and like become these characters. Because I think it's important that we as individuals connect before we get on stage in our characters. So one of the things that's magical about Peter Pan is, and this is sort of the story with so many of my co-stars, is that Peter Pan was their first exposure to theater, period. Like that was the first musical. That was the first time they entered a theater and saw people performing live on stage. And I think that is sort of such a privilege for us to share with the kids today. Especially these kids I see at the stage door. They are, they're so enthusiastic and they're like, this is my first musical. And it's like, oh, theater is one of those things where experiencing it in person is truly like magical, because in so many forms of entertainment today, it's not in the same room as you. What's so spectacular about theater is everything's happening in the room with you. You could reach out and touch the people on stage. Please don't, but you could. You could if you wanted to. And I think
we don't want to. No.
Yeah, that's a disclaimer. Please don't. But I think that sort of shared space is what really creates a lot of the magic, especially for us here at Peter Pan.
Kurt, thank you so much for your time today. Peter Pan coming to the Nederlander Theater March 26th through April 7th, BroadwayChicago.com for those tickets. Definitely go check it out. We got 2 weeks here, especially during that spring break time, to go and enjoy something fun with your families. And we'll see you in Chicago very, very soon.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Thank you.